Y'all, this your boy King Eric the Great, coming in right quick, doing a quick video. And I touched on this last night, but I want to get more in depth with this. And this is my opinion on the whole Hulk Hogan being hired by the WWE. And should black people boycott the WWE? Let's be clear. My opinion about this is I feel that it's a slap in the face to all black fans. Now, I'm not saying this because I don't like Hulk Hogan. I mean, I have never been a fan of Hulk Hogan. I would say this about any wrestler that said the remarks that he got caught making. Because I guarantee you that if he made a remark about Jewish people the way he did us, they would have erased him off the WWE library, period. Because they have more of a foothold in this industry than black people do. Whereas black people, we have shown time and time again we're more forgiving. Because I remember the day when the information leaked and black people were off the gate was trying to cape for him. DJ Who Kid, even when the news started circulating, he posted a picture saying, "Man, bro, now Hulk Hogan, he ain't racist." Now everybody was probably thinking that he said the N-word on the Who Kid show, and that's what they was talking about. No. They were talking about this here where Hulk Hogan went on a tirade about his daughter dating a black guy. And basically saying that she should have dated a effing nigger that was a basketball player. Everybody's a little bit racist. And he laughed about it. And see, this is where the dynamic come. This is where the true origins of racism start coming. And it's also going to open up a can of worms within this business, because the wrestling business is really racist. It's really racist to the core. And I did a blog a long time ago talking about that. They don't really respect black culture, but they'll give our swagger, our style, our music to white wrestlers to get them over. Case in point, John Cena. John Cena was a failed bodybuilder. They gave him a hip-hop gimmick. He was like he watched 8 Mile one time, and all of a sudden he started blowing up. Then as soon as he became the man, he shredded that whole hip-hop image quick and became the marine, corny guy you know today. So, knowing that, and knowing the back history of the WWE's reluctance of putting a black champion on, this is a bad look. It's already a bad look as it is that they're getting all this bad press for doing the event in Saudi Arabia. They already have it bad enough where Roman Reigns is not be able to compete at this moment. It's already bad enough that they pretty much within this event you have 4 old timers closing the show. It's already bad enough that you had Brock Lesnar, whom is a part-timer, run over one of your most over big men. And it's also bad enough, of course, and I'm doing a little brief review of this pay-per-view, that you have Shane McMahon, who's damn near 60, winning the World Cup. So, and knowing all this, you're going to have Hulk Hogan kick off the show. Hulk Hogan, who spewed those white supremacist views on that tape. You're going to bring him in like nothing's wrong. And I knew they was going to do it. Because black people don't really have a foothold in this in the business like you would say a Jewish person, or you would say the Hispanic community. Because I bet you, if even would have said anything disparaging about Hispanics, they would have cut them loose. Period. It all depends on the foothold on what a certain race has. So, bringing him back was a bad look. And what's the next step for black people to do? A lot of people are saying, well, we need to boycott the WWE. And I say that's easier said than done. Boycott the WWE meaning you're no longer buying tickets. You're no longer watching the network. You're no longer buying merchandise. You're no longer buying video games. And the question is, and where are we going to go then? We're all wrestling fans at the end of the day. What other promotion is putting it down that you can support? Now, the only one I can see that could really deserve some support is MLW. MLW is good. Because MLW have that whole old school feel that we all old school wrestling fans missed. You dig? Impact, they trying to get it together, but it feels too fake to me, honestly. Because they're copying that whole Lucha Underground movie cinema type style for their stories. And it comes across a little too fake to me. Plus, another thing I want to touch on about that is the crowd reactions are just not energetic anymore with these promotions. And I don't blame them because they're not really giving the people what they want. They're not giving the people who they want to cheer for and who they want to boo for. That's been the problem with the WWE today. And it's getting to the point where Vince McMahon doesn't really care anymore. When you're making hand over fist like he's doing, you're not really caring. You're not really caring about what people say, what people think. You're not caring about what your fellow wrestlers doing. I don't even think he even cares what Triple H says about it. Some way, somehow, he must be replaying those same packages from 1998 and showing those to advertisers so he could get those deals. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it. So in knowing that, the content is going to suffer. And he's looking at it right now like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But here's the problem. I seen the same problem in 1998. In 1998, WCW did the same thing. WCW, like the WWE today, was at their highest peak in terms of gross. In terms of sales, in terms of merchandise selling, in terms of sellout shows. They had a loaded roster like the WWE today. Those guys had a loaded roster like Bret the Hitman Hart, Bill Goldberg, DDP, Lex Luger, Sting, The Outsiders, Macho Man, Kurt Hennig, Rick Rude, Chris Benoit, Raven, Saturn, Billy Kidman. Who else they have? Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Ultimo Dragon. They had a loaded roster, man. But yet, if you really look at WCW from that whole year, it was just a mess. Booking was a mess. Storylines didn't make sense. They were holding on to the same angles that they were holding on from 96. The same old guys were still main eventing. And nothing was changing. Nothing was progressing. It's just like today. But you didn't care. Eric Bischoff didn't care. Eric Bischoff didn't care as long as the checks was coming. Eric Bischoff would get into arguments with Ric Flair, would get into arguments with Piper, would get into arguments with wrestlers, and even Ted Turner himself about direction of the company. He didn't really care as long as the money was good. And I see the same mistakes that Vince McMahon is making. When you top dog, who's going to tell you anything? They have a loaded roster right now. They basically have 3 leagues, which is pretty much their Ring of Honor, which is NXT. You have SmackDown. You have Raw. Despite the content being terrible, they still have a solid following. You have Ronda Rousey. You have Brock Lesnar, which are mainstream draws. So Vince ain't really thinking about that right now. But this pay-per-view could be the start of the mark of the end of the WWE if they don't get it together. Because the booking was awful. This was their moment. This was their Halloween Havoc 98 moment. And after that pay-per-view, WCW just went down. So, and it starts with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is going to be the start of the downfall. Because that's a slap in the face to every black wrestler, every black wrestling fan And the problem is that with all these racial tensions that's going on, it's a bad look. It's a very bad look in bringing him back, period. So I want to know what everybody's opinions about this. Did they do the right thing in forgiving him? Has time healed all wounds? Should we forgive him? Should we boycott the WWE? Y'all holler at me. And be sure to subscribe to the Off the Cuff Radio YouTube channel. Be sure to follow us every Friday night at 9 p.m., 6 Pacific, 8 Central. Holla.